Trust is all that's left of us. But only if you ever worry. While the signs were clear, they had no idea. You just get used to living in fear. Or give up when you can't even picture your future.
What's up YouTube, Evan from Epic Duel Time here. I'm doing a commentary on this week's Duel video for you guys. This took place between myself on the left, piloting Dino Rabbit, and Tim V on the right, piloting a kind of a teched out version of Fire Fist. You guys might already notice right off the bat some kind of aesthetic changes. I have changed up the way the life points are displayed. Just kind of testing out some new styles. This is one that I've wanted to do for a while, where we show the pictures of the duelists. So I thought that was kind of neat. Either way, hope you guys like that. So, to the game, I took turn 1 and opened with a rabbit. I had a really nice opening hand on this one, so it's not exactly a real showing of talent or skill on my part, but it is what it is. So I use its effect and summon 2 Cavazals, because that's what you do. I have physical difficulty shuffling my deck, apparently. And then I overlay the 2 monsters for an Evil Zaralagia. I then set 3 back row. And I end. So Tim opens up with activating his Tensu. For those of you who don't know, Tensu is the Fire Fist formation that lets you normal summon a Beast Warrior in addition to your normal summon. So he declares that he's going to use the Tensu summon to summon his Gorilla. Then he uses Gorilla's effect to pop Tensu. I choose to use Fiendish Chain at this point, and he then chains an MST to hit my Fiendish Chain. Now the card that he targeted was my face down lance, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain that lance to reduce Gorilla's attack points. I really wanted to keep that lance for later, and I was hoping that I could get away with Fiendish Chaining it, but that plan didn't quite work out. So now the Gorilla's attack is reduced. He then summons a Thunder King, to which I negate the summon. Tim then sets 1 and ends. I then normal summon a Guaiba. Tim flips up his Torrential, to which I respond with a Starlight Road. Yeah, I had everything. It was pretty rough. So then I summon my Stardust. I take the Guaiba and I attack over the Gorilla. I push in just 100 damage, but the most important part is getting that Guaiba effect. I then deal 24 and 25 damage with the Lagia and the Stardust, reducing Tim's total life points down to 3,000. I then overlay the Guaiba and the Lagia into, Guaiba and Guaiba into a Lagia, not overlaying Lagias there. And then I set 1 and end. On Tim's turn, he throws the heavy down. I choose to negate with Stardust. Stardust won't come back at the end phase because he wasn't properly synchro summoned, but I do get his effect just 1 time. So, on my turn during the battle phase, I attack, and Tim uses a Swift Scarecrow, which kind of makes me wish I had gone Dolka. So, I set 1 and end, Tim sets 1 and ends on his turn, but I MST it, and then we go to game 2. Yeah, so Swift Scarecrow is one of his nifty techs that he's main decking in this build. I don't know if he's still doing that to this day, but we do have deck profiles for my build, which, if you guys like Rabbit, you can check out what I think of it. Yeah, but more importantly, you should check out Tim's deck profile. It's really, really cool, and we cover a lot of cool stuff that he does in this deck. So please check those out, description down below. Now, for Tim's turn 1, he activates a Tenki, and searches out Fire Fist Bear. He then summons his bear and sets 2 back row. He jokes about setting 3 more cards because they would have made 6, so that's why he does that. On my turn, I draw, and if I recall, I didn't really have a lot to play except for that one rabbit. I had a duality and a rabbit, which is really conflicting because you want to play the duality so you can get better back row, but you have to play the rabbit because if you don't, he has a better chance of having better cards than you and building up plays. So I use Rabbit's effect to summon my Sabersauruses. My Sabersaurus. Yeah, Sabersauruses. 2 Sabersaurus. One of my big points was I know that one of his face downs, I've read at this point that one of his back rows is going to be a Forbidden Lance. I've decided that because I don't think I would ever leave a bear or a Guaiba unattended like that. So I go into a Lagia, I attack. He responds to the attack declaration with Lance, and at this point I know he was baiting my negate effect for some sort of what I'm assuming was a second Lance to use during the damage step. So unfortunately I don't have a choice, I have to negate it. So I do, and then he chains Fiendish Chain. What's going to happen at this point is that Fiendish Chain, my Fiendish Chain is going to resolve and negate my effect, and I won't negate Lance. I'm going to lose 800, but I'm going to be removed from the Fiendish Chain. But I'm still affected by it because it resolved last, so it's weird. So either way, on his turn, he activates Bear's effect to pop my Lagia by getting rid of his Tenki. He then activates another Tenki. If you see in my hand, I've got a couple vanillas, so it's not one of those, oh, this is an easy hand. It's one of those, my opponent has cards to make plays, and I have vanillas. And unfortunately, vanillas can't always be plays on their own. It's nice when they are, when you can back them up with nice back row and lances, but so I take 17 direct from the bear and 18 direct from the Tenki, the Tengu, due to the Tenki. Keep in mind that Tenki is buffing all the fire formations like Tensu and Tenki, all buffed by 100 each, and it stacks, so it's neat. On my turn, I activate a duality. I flip over a Snowman Eater, a Sabersaurus, and an MST. Now, the Snowman Eater is really tempting. I have tons of vanilla, so I don't really need a Sabersaurus. But the Snowman Eater is really tempting, except for the fact that Bear's just sitting there and can use his effect and get right around me, and I have no way to negate its effect. So I can't stop it from doing its thing. So what I do is I pick the MST, because if he goes and uses Tenki on another turn, or a Tensu, I can then pop it immediately to keep it from resolving. Drop a card really quickly. I summon my Cabazals. He bottomlesses it. And then I set 2 this turn. I don't know why I set 1 before I set the Cabazals. Some of the Cabazals is weird. Did it out of order. But either way, I set 2 and I end. On Tim's turn, he attacks directly with the bear, and I'll take the damage, reducing me to 28. And another direct 18 from the Tengu, bringing me down to just 1,000. On the main phase 2, he flips up the Tenki that he got off the bear, and I chain the MST. Remember that a continuous spell cannot resolve fully unless if you destroy it. So it has to be face up on the field when it resolves. It's not like a normal spell. So technically, Mystical Space Typhoon doesn't negate Tenki, but it stops it from resolving. Alright, so Tim then summons Violon Prism. And the point of being able to use Violon Prism is being able to use it as a synchro monster, to make big synchros, but also to be able to buff monsters. Look up Violon Prism yourselves. He's a nasty, nasty, nasty monster. I, however, have Bottomless, so unfortunately you didn't get to see him in action on that. He's, in a lot of Tim and I's test games, he was just beating me down with things like Crimson Blader with a Violon Prism attached to it. So, Tim then flips up the Tensu to keep it face up, and ends. I activate my Bluff to Duality, revealing my Breakthrough Skill, Forbidden Lance, and Starlight Road. I don't have enough back row to make Starlight Road live, and at this point in the game, a Breakthrough Skill is not going to save me. So, because I'm holding Vanillas, and a Torrid. And yes, I could have gone for a Torrid play at this moment, but the problem is, going for a Torrid in any of these scenarios, I could have made a Leviathan, but attacking over is just going to mean that he's going to be able to summon again. And he has monsters to replace, and I would have lost the monster just as quickly. I wanted to kind of play more of a conservative match. And Zen Means was a terrible choice. So, looking back, I was kind of damned if I did, damned if I didn't play the Duality to get a better card, but I wasn't doing much. I attacked over the bear and dealt a little damage using the lance, but I lose my monster straight to the Tengu. Now I activate the Torrid on my new turn. I use its effect. I check my graveyard to see if I have enough ability. I forgot that I had the Vanilla in hand, so I can't go into the Leviair and do the Rabbit play. I would have had it if I hadn't been drawing into Vanillas. But that's Rabbit. That's the price you pay when you play a deck with Vanillas. You're gonna draw them. You're on 3 of each. You're gonna draw them. So I then go into... I don't know why I was reading Black Shepherd's Ring 4. I think I just wanted to look at it. I go into a Leviathan Dragon. And I use its effect. I attack, and it's going to get Dimensional Prison. And I have a Lance, so I thought I could save it, but at the same time it's not going to negate my attack. So I'm going to still have to attack, and Lance brings me right down to 17, which should be fine, except Tengu is at 18. So, I scoop, and we go to a game 3. I want to take a second to just apologize about the inconsistent schedule. A lot of the time, I work a lot, and I also, when I record a match, sometimes it's not what I want to show you guys, because there are times where I've posted matches, and the reaction's pretty harsh, and you know, you guys didn't enjoy the game, and I want to know if you guys aren't enjoying matches that I post. So and I believe in that. So I try to pick the best games, and sometimes I get them, and sometimes I don't. So that's there's a lot of factors into it, people's schedules and everything. So on my turn, I summon Cavazols and I set. I didn't want to just throw the Guaiba in my hand down. I think I had multiple. I think I have a lot of Guaibas in my hand. I think I have 2. I forgot. I know I have a Snowman Eater as well. So Tim uses Duality. He then summons a Thunder King. He attacks my Cabazols and I take the 200. He then sets 2 and ends. Oh no, I have a heavy. That's right. So, I activate Heavy, and I ask if he has any responses, because then I'm going to respond to my own Heavy with Forbidden Lance, and he jokingly plays his Lance on his monster too, but because I want to get over that monster. So, I have a Guaiba, and I attack right over it, dealing 600, and using Guaiba's effect. Yeah, I think I have 2 Guaibas in here, I forget. I may just have 1. I don't know why I think I have multiple. I'm dropping cards again. And I overlay the 2 Guaivas into a Lagia. Tim then follows up by setting a monster and setting a back row. I activate Duality. And I spy a Macro, Solemn Judgment, and Bottomless. I go for the Macro because one of the most important ways that the Fire Fists get their plays is by being able to use their effect to send things to the graveyard. So, we can't have that. So, I go ahead and summon my Sabersaurus. I use my Lagia to attack. And... oh, okay. So what ended up happening was Tim still had a response, I'm sorry. And Tim responds and negates the summon, and then I attack. Sorry about that. And it kills my monster. And that's that one. Yeah, that's right. I miscut that out. I didn't know that he still had a response. So, Tim summons on his turn a bear, attacks, deals the damage, searches the Tenki, main phase 2, activates the Tenki. And he sets a background ends. I set a monster and set 2 and end. During the standby phase, I activate Macro Cosmos. This is to prevent Bear from using his effect, and Tim judgments, and then I judgment, his judgment. A lot of judgment. So our life totals end up down to 31, me, and Tim's 27. The biggest point of all of that is to make sure that that bear does not get his effect to kill my Snowman Eater. I have to make him attack it. But eat our goals. And remember, he Tenki searched another bear. So, more damage. And searches, sets Tenki, flips the Tenki, searches the Tengu, and ends. On my draw, I draw Cabazals, and I summon it, and set 1 and end. He summons his Tengu. He attacks with the Tengu. Now, I have a Fiendish Chain. The problem is that I don't really want to negate Tengu's effect. I want to really negate Bears if I have to. So I let him run over my monster with the Tengu, and then I'm going to Fiendish Chain the bear in place. Keep in mind, that bear is 1800 attack. So no matter what, Cabazals is dead. So, the card I draw on my turn is Card D. And I can't use it. Well, I can, but I can't. So, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Last week's pack giveaway winner is Jason Rivers. Want to win a pack of Cosmo Blazer? There's 3 simple things you gotta do. like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with an answer to the question of the week. And this week's question is, with the release of Hidden Arsenal 7 right around the corner, what are you looking forward to most from the set and why? Also be sure to check out our creative deck contest for a chance to show off your deck building skills and win awesome prizes. Link in the description. One last note is to please check out the 2 links for YGOverdose Dueling Network tournaments coming up. This Sunday, April 21st, there is a charity tournament with 50% of the funds collected donated to the One Fund to support the victims of the Boston bombings that took place on April 16th, 2013. As a resident of Massachusetts, I cannot express my appreciation and love for this as much as possible, and hope any of you available to participate will do so. On Sunday, April 28th, a regular YGOverdose Dueling Network tournament will be held as well. Again, all information regarding contests and tournaments can be found in the links in the description below. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and keep dueling, America.